Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. This is a special edition of Warriors Talk, where you're getting 31 facts in 31 days in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is day 5, and tonight we're going to be having an amazing conversation. I want you to get your pen and your paper out so that you can take some notes or share the video out to someone else so that they can get this valuable information. I want to highlight one of my sponsors, who is Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay. She's located at marykay.com/GDOTSON. You can go to her website and check out all of her products. She's catering to you and myself with beauty needs from head to toe. So if you're looking for something for that special person in your life and you want to surprise them with something that's of quality from a beauty consultant with integrity, then Gloria J. Dotson is your beauty consultant. So make sure you tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. So again, this is a special edition of Warriors Talk, and I'm so excited about the 31 facts in 31 days. I'm always up and willing to share any information that I know as it relates to cancer as a whole. So day 5, you guys, and we're talking about you have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Now what? What are you going to do now that you have been diagnosed with breast cancer? Well, the first thing you're going to do if you're watching this video is like, share it out to someone so that they can get this valuable information. Sorry, you guys, so that they can get this valuable information. So if they ever have a breast cancer diagnosis, they would know how to proceed. So now you have been diagnosed with breast cancer. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? The first thing you're going to do is you're not going to panic. So often when we hear those words, you have cancer, we tend to panic. And when we panic, we don't think straight, right? When you panic, you are not making any rational decisions. So the first thing you need to do is when you hear the information, calm down. Take a minute, take a time out so that you can gather yourself, right? You're going to have to, so that you can make the decisions that are beneficial to your health. You cannot go into this mad, bitter, upset, stressed out, and expect to make good decisions with your health. So don't panic. The second thing you need to know is the truth is the cancer has been there for a while. The cancer didn't start overnight, right? It's been there for a while. So while you're stressing and panicking, it's probably been sitting there maybe 10 years. Yeah, it's probably been sitting there 10 years. And now it's out there. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? You're not going to stress. You're not going to panic. Cancer doesn't start overnight. So you don't have to make a decision overnight. Normally, when you're diagnosed with cancer, your treatment doesn't start normally, depending on what type of cancer it is. The treatment doesn't start for like 1 to 2 months. Why? Because they're doing their evaluation. You're getting MRIs, scans, blood work, everything. You're getting, if they're going to put you to treatment, they want to know if your heart is going to be able to get through this. So you may have a scan of your heart. You may have a scan to see if the cancer has spread through your body. You may need an MRI of your breast or whatever area that you have the cancer in. So It may not start for 1 to 2 months, just so that they can gather their information, the doctors, your team, to figure out how they are going to treat you. What's the best method, the best route that they could go to treat you for this cancer. So that gives you a chance to really process this thing before you go into treatment, if you know you're not going to start it 1 to 2 months later. So I found my lump in November of 2013, November 1st, 2013. I had my mammogram maybe a couple of days after that, because I found my lump in Vegas that Friday. Called my doctor, made the appointment. As soon as I got back, I think I was in an appointment within the next 2 or 3 days. So they'll get you in right away. They don't play when you say you have a lump. They're gonna get you in right away. And once you get in, everything is going to go really fast, again, because they're trying to do the evaluation to find out what type of cancer this is, how, has it spread it. So they're going to make sure that they're going to do everything that they can on their end to equip them with the information on how to treat you for this cancer. So again, I found my lump in November 1st of 2013. December 18th of 2013, they confirmed that it was cancer. Then I didn't start treatment until February. They was trying to get me to start in January, but I had to go to the dentist and get some work done on my teeth before I went into chemo, because if you had any problems with your teeth doing chemo, you was just going to be messed up. So you would have to wait until you was out of chemo, and then your gums probably wouldn't heal or whatever. So it was a 3-week delay with me in treatment because I had to get some dental work done. So if you were diagnosed with cancer and they're getting ready to put you into chemo treatment, go see your dentist first and see if you need anything done before you go into treatment. So let's talk about this book I wrote, right? I wrote a book, I did a show, and with this show, I titled it "Take Charge of Cancer." That was the title of the show, with one of the guests that I had on there. And I got the title from her and her journey, and the things that I read about her. And I felt like she was a person who took charge of cancer. And so on that show, I came up with these 10 tips on how to take charge of cancer. And then I ended up writing an ebook that I never released. I was like, I'm gonna write an ebook and I'm gonna share this out with people who have had cancer, and so to get them some encouragement, empower them. But then I'm like, they may not even read the ebook. So I want to be able to give them something to put in their hands. So then I said, okay, I'll turn it into a book. And so that's where you get the Take Charge of Cancer that was released. It was released last year at my 5th annual Survivors Night of Reflection Gala. I released Take Charge of Cancer. This book is to empower the warrior within who is newly diagnosed with cancer. So it's for someone who's newly diagnosed with cancer. They don't know what to do. They don't know which route to take. They're confused. They're trying to figure out, oh my goodness, like, am I going to die? Is this chemo going to take me out? So this is for that person who's newly diagnosed with cancer, and they don't know how to proceed. They don't know where to go from here. So you could get this book on Amazon. On Amazon, this book is $12. I released it last October, and my hopes is for anybody who's diagnosed with cancer. It answers a lot of questions in this book on what's going to happen before you go get into the journey. And then it tells you about some of the things and the decisions you're going to have to make going into that journey. It's not a long read. It's a quick read. So you can probably read the book in one setting. If you just sat down and maybe had some tea or something, you'll be able to just read the book in one setting. But again, you can get it off Amazon. It's only $12. And if it's not for you, if you haven't been diagnosed with cancer, you know somebody who has been diagnosed, newly diagnosed, I would say they're within their first 6 months of treatment, then this book is for that person. It also can be for a caregiver, somebody who is taking care of somebody with cancer. It's going to kind of give you a guide to what they're going through, what they're getting ready to go through, so that you can kind of understand them and have some, some compassion or some empathy for them. So that's that. So let's talk about how a person who is newly diagnosed with cancer, what can they do to take charge of cancer? How can we take charge of a beast that's wreaking havoc over so many lives, just wiping them out, right? How can we do that? Is that even possible to do? Like, how can you take charge of this thing when it's so much still that's unknown about cancer, right? It's over 100 and some cancers, and they haven't found a cure for them. So therefore, we're out here taking treatment, putting stuff in our bodies that we really wouldn't want to. All right, so let's just start from the beginning. You at the doctor's office, right? Because you found your own lump. Let's just say you found your own lump like I did. You found your own lump. 85% of women find their own lump, and they're not, a lot of them, they say, according to statistics, they're non-cancerous. But still go get it checked out, because you're not going to know until you get it checked out. So you're in the doctor's office, you found your lump, you call and make your appointment. They get you in the doctor's office. They did the mammogram, put your breast in that machine, smashed it. You was uncomfortable for a couple of minutes, less than 30 minutes. Then they had you to go sit back down while they read the x-ray. And then once they read the x-ray, they said, we need to do something else because we see something. So then they brought you in another room and they had you to do an ultrasound. And then they went back and the doctor read the ultrasound and they said, it's suspicious. We need to do a biopsy. Then either they'll do the biopsy right then and there, or they'll reschedule you and have you to come back for the biopsy. Just depends. If they have time to do it right then and there, they'll do it right then and there. So they stick a needle, numb your breast, stick a needle in that breast that you said that the lump was there, take some of that tissue, send it out to the lab, maybe a day or so, unless they have the lab on site to where they could do it right then and there. Maybe a day or a couple of days, then the doctor will probably call you on the phone or have you to come back in the office and tell you what your results are. For me, my doctor called me the very next day around noon, and said the biopsy was positive for cancer. And I'm just like, wow, like, how is that even possible? Like, how? Like, I've always been a healthy person, always exercise, watch what I ate, not smoking, I'm not drinking, not overweight. The only thing that I can think of that contributed to a breast cancer diagnosis was stress. I was stressed and depressed, and that compromised my immune system to allow a gene in my body to go rogue. And all it takes is that one cell to wake up other cells and say, hey, she's depressed over here, she's stressed. So what do you do? What do you do when you have just been given a cancer diagnosis and you go home, or you at home when the doctor call you, right? What do you do? How do you take charge of cancer? I'm here to tell you that you can take charge of cancer. I don't care what stage you are at. You still can take charge of cancer. And how do you do that? You do it by taking charge of your life, not allowing cancer to overrule your life, not allowing it to be your whole world and all that you think about. So the first thing that you can do to take charge of cancer is you pray. Girl, when I tell you that the prayer is going to bring comfort to you, right? The first thing that you should do is prayer, is have prayer. I would say by yourself first, right? By yourself. That's your communication to God. That's your way of, you know, having part of your relationship with Him. When you have a relationship with somebody, you communicate with them, right? You talk to them. You tell them your problems, good, the bad. You communicate. And our way of communicating with God is through prayer. So the first thing that you need to do is, once you have been given a diagnosis, is you pray. And I'm not saying you have to have this long drawn out prayer to where you using all these big old words, and no, it doesn't have to be like that. It could be you just, okay, Lord, I just been given this diagnosis of cancer. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid. I need you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go through this by myself. Like, it could be just as simple as talking to Him, just like that. But you're going to have to pray, because you're going to have to ask Him to go with you on this journey, because you are not going to be able to do it by yourself. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care. You need God to go through this journey. You're going to be calling on somebody, although there's only one God. You're going to be calling on Him to help you get through this journey, to help keep you sane as you sleep at night and the thoughts are coming in your mind. You're going to need to communicate with Him and ask Him to keep you calm. So the first thing you're going to do is pray. Pray. Ask Him questions. Why me? Why is this happening to me? How is this going to bring glory to you? What's the purpose of this? Is this really in your will? Is this part of your plan for my life? How can you get glory out of this cancer diagnosis? Talk to Him, and you would be surprised of what He will reveal to you. So the first way that you take charge of cancer is by praying. Don't you dare enter this journey without praying. Before you do anything else, before you pick up the phone and tell anybody else, you need to pray. Then once you're done praying, you can call whoever your prayer partner is, or whoever your pastor, whoever, and you want them to pray, and then you can bring other people in there. But you gotta learn how to pray for yourself. So the second thing that you can do to take charge of cancer is you have to process that diagnosis, right? Before you have a conversation with anybody else, you need to process what you just heard. You have cancer. So what do you do with that information? You have to sit with yourself, process it. Before you have that conversation with anybody else, you say it to yourself. And I know some people are gonna be like, girl, don't say that. Oh, don't say that don't say that. Don't. Mm-mm. So you have to process it, right? You figure out who you need to talk to after that, once you have processed it yourself. If you need to go away on a trip, take a vacation, some time to yourself to figure out how you're going to do this, then do that. Take some time for yourself. This is the one time you could be selfish, and nobody is going to say anything about you being selfish. Do that. But you got to process that diagnosis yourself before you can share with anybody else. Process it through your mind. Talk to yourself and say, ReShell, how are we going to get through this? What are we going to do? I don't even feel like I'm strong enough to get through this. I can't do this by myself. I need people around me to help me. Don't be afraid to pull people in. But process that thing so that when you're telling somebody else, you don't get emotional all the time when you got to say the words, girl, I got cancer. And you crying every time you tell somebody what's going on. Process it and then move on to whatever it is that you have to do after that. Which, number 3, is how you take charge of cancer is you got to accept that diagnosis. I know. There's going to be so many people that say, girl, don't you accept that diagnosis. Don't you claim it. If you claim it, it's going to happen. It's going to be all over your body. No, we're not claiming that thing. Just because you don't claim it, just because you don't say it out of your mouth, that doesn't mean that cancer is not growing in your body. Doesn't mean that those cells are not multiplying and dividing. it doesn't mean that it's not. So you got to figure out, okay, you just heard this information, you're processing it. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You heard the doctor. So, okay, the doctor, this is what I used to say. I wouldn't say I had cancer. I would say the doctor said, the doctor said that I had cancer, right? That's what the doctor said, right? Because that's what I heard. That's what the doctor said. I never said, girl, I got cancer. No, the doctor said I had cancer. The doctor diagnosed me with cancer. But you still have to accept what you just heard in order to address it, because you got to address it. You just can't sit and let it keep multiplying. You can't. So the fourth thing that you can do when it comes to taking charge of cancer, you got to get the facts. Now you have prayed, you have processed the information, you have accepted the information. Now you got to get to work. Do you hear me? You have to get to work. You got to get to work getting all the facts that you need. Getting the facts mean getting, what stage am I? What grade am I? The grade is like, is this thing growing? Is it growing really fast? Is it aggressive? Is it moderately growing? Is it slow? What's going on? You have to get that information, right? What type of treatment do I need? All of that information. What's the survival rate? Get all of that information, right? If you gotta keep, sometimes they give you a binder so that you can keep all your information in there, all your appointments and everything. Bring somebody else in on to your appointments with you. Don't try to be there by yourself, toughing this out. No, bring somebody with you to this appointment so that they can hear what you can't hear. So bring a second set of ears, because you may be so out of it. Bring somebody else, right? And then figure out what is your knowledge comfort level. Because you have three different patients. You have a patient that want to know everything. They want to know everything about the cancer, the breakdown of it, break it down. What's the stage? What's the grade? What's the centimeters? They want to know everything, right? Everything on the report, they want to know. They don't want you to leave them out of anything. What's the name of the chemo that I got to take? All right, what type of surgery am I having? What type of radiation is this? And they want to know everything, right? So you have that type of patient. Then you have the type of patient that just wants surface information. All right, they said I have breast cancer and I got to do chemo, surgery, and radiation. They not trying to get all deep into it because because that fear is there. It kind of scares them, so they don't try to get deep into it. Then you have the patient that don't want to know anything. They just like, hurry up, let's get this cancer out of me. Like, we need to hurry up and do whatever y'all got to do. I don't want this cancer in me. Let's go. They not trying to hear what the doctor's saying. All they heard was, I got cancer. Now let's get this out. So those are the three type of patients that you need. So you have to figure out, what's your knowledge comfort level? How much do you want to hear? How much do you want to know? Because you got to process and digest all of that. So you need to know where your level is when it comes to that, and having somebody else, that second set of ears there with you, they can help you process that information when you fade to black and you're not listening. So the fifth thing you can do when it comes to taking charge of cancer is take action. The Warriors Talk is all about away from awareness towards action. We could be aware all day long, but if we don't do nothing with that information that we are getting, it is not going to do anything for us. So you have to apply the knowledge that you get, right? Applied knowledge is key. So now the doctor has gave you this information. You prayed, you processed it, you accept it, you got all your facts, right? Now what do? You go in with the doctors and you help them put a plan in place for you. Because what they're going to do is they're going to meet with their colleagues and they're going to discuss your case and say, okay, this is what she was diagnosed with, so this is the type of treatment we're going to do. Okay, you want to let's sit down and discuss this with your doctor. Why did you pick this type of treatment? How is this treatment really going to benefit a person like me? Like, ask those questions. Like, get all of that information. Don't be afraid to ask the doctor. Don't be afraid to get a second opinion if you feel like, no, I'm not feeling this. It's just something about this. I'm just not, it just doesn't sit right with me. Don't be afraid to get a second opinion, but don't use that second opinion as a stall tactic because you don't want to start treatment, because you're not believing and accepting the diagnosis. But this cancer is still growing, cells are multiplying and dividing. Don't use it for that reason. If you really feel within your, your instincts, your gut is telling you, get a second opinion because I feel like something's not right, or the doctor's not listening to me, then get a second opinion or get a new doctor. So take action with the information, with the facts that you just got, all of that. Take action with it. You can't just sit there. Number 6 is do your research. And part of your research is your family history. Talk to the people in your family. Find out who had cancer, what type of cancer, what type of treatment. Are they still living? Did they have a second cancer? Find out all that information. What side? My father's side, my mom's side. How many people had cancer? All of that information is important to you, and you can share that information with your doctor. You're going to want to know that information. Going into it, you had no idea that, oh, I had 3 uncles and 2 aunts that had cancer. 2 of them died, 2 of them are still living, one had a reoccurrence. Not in my family, but I'm just using it as an example. So you want to know all of that because all of that is going to help you, especially when you get genetic testing, or you need to get genetic testing to find out if this is a hereditary link. So if you have children, you know what to tell your kids if they need to be watchful when it comes to cancer. So do your research. Find out everything it is about your cancer, about your treatment, what you need to do, what's going to happen after treatment, what side effects am I going to go through, when are these side effects going to take place, how long is it going to take for my hair to grow back, is my skin going to always be this dark, are my nails going to grow back to the same, shape, grade they were. Ask all of those questions. Make the doctor do their work. And on top of that, talk to other patients. Find out what they did. Because that's where you're going to really, the other patients are going to be your resource, right? They are going to be your resource because they have already been through it, already been through the trial and error. They're going to be your resource to get the things that you need, things that you don't even know about. Like I didn't know about my neuropathy, having to get a sleeve. I saw somebody with a sleeve and I'm like, why do you have on a sleeve? And they're like, oh yeah, for neuropathy, if you had lymph nodes removed, sometimes you get neuropathy to where your arm swells up and this help keeps it down. I'm just like, what? So I went and got me a sleeve. Like certain things you don't know about that you can benefit from, that you're entitled to because of the diagnosis. And you're going to get that information from other individuals who have been through the cancer journey. So talk to other patients, use them as a resource to help you to get further in your journey. Number 7 is ask for help and then accept help, right? If you have someone who is offering to cook, who wants to give you a gift card, who wants to have some DoorDash to come to the house, who wants to pick the kids up from school, who wants to cut your grass, buy groceries, like you're going to need that help because it's going to come a time to where you're not going to have the energy to do it. And especially if you have younger kids, you're going to need somebody to help you. So if you have to ask for help, ask for help. And I always say they have this app where it's a calendar to where you can send the link to everybody to join it, and they can sign up for, you could put the tasks on there that you need help with, and people can sign up on the calendar to help you with your tasks. And that way they don't have to talk to you. They don't have to be calling you saying, hey girl, you need this done. Okay, I can do this. What you need, you don't know what you need because you tired, you out of it. So you designate a person to do that for you so that you can concentrate on healing. You can concentrate on staying stress-free. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to accept help. You're going to need it. You're not going to get through this journey without other people. Those are second set of ears. Remember I said that? So instead of you filtering out information to people, have that second person that you trust, give them the information, allow them to filter it out to people, right? Allow them to hear what other people are saying, the questions that they have for people. Let them filter that if they're going to give that information to you. You don't, some information you don't even need to know, right? So just have a person that you really trust and you know that has your best interest at heart, and have them to do that. So number 8, how you can take charge of cancer is seek professional help. And I'm saying from the beginning, from the beginning, when the doctor says, "Oh, you have cancer," you say, "Hey, can you give me a referral to go see or talk to somebody? I need to talk to somebody about, this. I need to get help. I need to see a counselor. I need to see a therapist." Yeah, and you should be seeing them throughout your cancer journey and beyond, because there's going to be a time when you can't even talk to the people that are close to you. You don't want to. You don't want to seem like you're a bother. You don't want to, and then you're masking how you're feeling, because every time you get around people, you may find yourself, complaining about the cancer, being bitter about it, and then people stop asking you, right? So you want to get around a person that deals with people with cancer. They're trained to, counsel people who have had cancer, and so that they can help steer you in the right direction, help you stay focused on the most important thing, which is you, and you healing and getting well. The last thing you need to do is to feel shut out because people don't want to be around you anymore because they feel like you're complaining. And the last thing you want to do is to mask how you're feeling, to hide how you're feeling. You need to get that out. You need to get it out. You need not to try to hide that you're depressed, because you're going through a cancer diagnosis. It's understandable that you could be depressed. It's understandable that you could have PTSD. It's understandable that you could be traumatized. So don't be ashamed. Get the help. You're going to need it. It should be a regimen along with the chemo, the surgery, the radiation. They should be giving you a referral. When they tell you what the plan is for that, this should be in the plan. We're getting there, y'all. We're getting there. So number 9, how you can take charge of cancer is, okay, now what's your course of action to get rid of this cancer? What conclusion did you come to say, all right, this is going to work best for me, and I'm going to be able to get through this and still come out sane, right? So, the doctor can say, hey, this is the plan that we have for you. And then, you could tell the doctor, well, this is what I had in mind in addition to that. Or, I don't know if I want that. You just have to, again, do your research. Do your research. And part of your research is not getting information from Bebe now. Get your information from a reliable source, people who have been through it. Because if you haven't been through cancer, how are you going to tell me how to get through it and you ain't been through it? The doctors, they study and they can tell you what they've heard from other patients and stuff like that, from what they have, the information they've collected. Yeah. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do to get rid of this cancer? And then what are you going to do once you get rid of it? How are you going to move forward? Number 10, you're going to keep living. You are going to keep on living, and you shouldn't be living the same way. You should be making, especially if your cancer was contributed to something that you did, maybe smoking, then you need to stop smoking. Stop the smoking. If they said your cancer was contributed because you were overweight, then you need to be in that gym. You need to be watching what you put in your mouth, selecting healthier choices so that you can be here and have a nice quality of life. But you need to keep living so that you can witness some of the milestones in life. In 2013, if the cancer had took me out, I would have never saw my daughter get married, my oldest daughter get married. I would never saw her graduate from college. I would never saw my son get married, never saw him go to the army, graduate from boot camp. I would have never saw my other daughter graduate from 8th grade, and my other daughter graduate from 8th grade and go to their homecoming dance, and my youngest daughter, her playing basketball and soccer, and I would have never witnessed any of that. And my two grandbabies, my Nala Faith and Josh Jr., like I would have never witnessed any of that. So I'm I'm just grateful that God was like, no, not yet. I have something for you to do. I'm glad that, there was a purpose. There was a purpose in my pain. There was a purpose in this journey that I went through with cancer. It wasn't to kill me. We know that all sickness is not unto death, so we have to find a way. How can this glorify God? What can I do even in my sickness to glorify God? What can I do? And so for me, it's sharing my journey. For me, it's educating other individuals about it. For me, it's advocating for those who are diagnosed and they need financial assistance. They need a wig, they need someone to go to a chemo appointment with them. For me, it's spreading that information so that I don't want anybody to get a cancer diagnosis. I don't want anybody to get diagnosed in the later stages. So I'm just giving information to empower you to take action with your health, to be proactive with your health before a diagnosis, not wait until you get a diagnosis and then you want to make all these changes, which is fine. Yeah, you should make the changes, but I'm saying do that before. Do it before. Incorporate the things in your life. It doesn't have to be an overnight process. It could be, because it could be overwhelming when you try to do it all at once. Just start. If you're not exercising, if you're not moving, and the exercise has a lot to do with other diseases too: heart disease, diabetes, stroke, a lot of other diseases. You know that if you're exercising, then your body can benefit from it. Exercise play a major role in cancer, a major role. So if you're able to do it, then do it. If you're able to watch what you put in your mouth, the amount of the sugar intake, the amount of food that you put in your body that's not going to give you the excess weight, then do it. Not being stressed out, do it. So I've given you guys 10 tips from my book, Take Charge of Cancer. And again, this is an award-winning book. I just took first place at the APS Book Awards this year for this book. It was chosen as #1 in the inspiration category. So I was so excited about it, so proud that I stepped out on faith and I did the book. I didn't think that it was going to come to pass, and it did. And I'm glad that I was able to just take action with the information that I had and put it out there, and I know that someone is going to be blessed by it. So if you would like to bless me, then you could go to Amazon and purchase the book for $12, and you can donate it to someone who may be newly diagnosed within the first 1 to 6 months of their diagnosis, and bless them with this book. Bless them with the book. Again, it's an easy read, so you won't be up all night trying to read the book. So I appreciate you guys for joining me. This is again day 5 for 31 Facts in 31 Days in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I want to tell you guys about my Warriors Talk, actually, Survivors Night of Reflection Gala. I want to see you guys in the place. This is our 6th annual Survivors Night of Reflection Gala. It's going to be on Saturday, October the 22nd from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Crystal Sky Banquet Hall, 7941 West 47th Street in McCook, Illinois. McCook is close to Chicago, so don't panic. If you are a survivor, you are free. I've been asking God to, when I have these events and I'm celebrating survivors, if I'm celebrating you, you should have to pay, right? So I'm stepping out on faith, and I'm not charging the survivors any money. But I still have expenses. I still have to pay for the place. I still have to pay my photographer. I still have to purchase the awards. There's still things that I have to do, even though I'm not charging the survivors. So the non-survivor, if you're not a survivor, then your price is $40 and that's to help cover the cost of the venue and the awards. And plus, we are going to award a warrior in battle that night, with some money to help bridge the gap financially for them. Someone who's in battle fighting. So if you know someone who's in battle fighting, then send me an email at warriorstalk1@gmail.com or inbox me on Facebook to let me know that you want to nominate someone. Just drop me a couple of sentences about them. If you know someone that's a caregiver and they're taking care of someone selfishly, not getting paid for someone with cancer, nominate them for the Caregivers Award. Then we have a community service award, someone that's out in the community spreading awareness, sharing, advocating, teaching individuals about cancer and how to decrease their risk of cancer. And then we have that survivor of the year who kind of, exemplifies all of those things. They are in the community, they are, taking care of the next person that has cancer, equipping them with information on how to get through this battle. So you guys, we're going to have an amazing time as we always do. So I'm so excited that this is number 6. It really should be number 7, but I didn't have one in 2020. So this is number 6. I'm looking for sponsors. If you would like to be a sponsor, I have 3 sponsor packets. The first one is $100, which is the silver packet. Then you have the $250 package, which is the gold packet. And then the event sponsor packet is $750. And in that packet, it includes a table of 8, swag bags, a free gift, the ticket to get into the event. And also you have 6 months of advertising on Warriors Talk, and you get to appear as a guest on Warriors Talk as well. You get to speak that night to the survivors and tell them all about whatever product or whatever it is that you're doing. And you also get to have a table that night to display your product. So that was just about the event sponsor. So if you would like to be a sponsor, if you would like to be a vendor, the vendor price is $50. Go over to Eventbrite, so you could type in Survivors Night of Reflection Gala .eventbrite.com, and you could purchase your ticket. Or if you just want to donate to help with the cost of the event, then go ahead and do that. We are officially a 501c3 organization, so you can be able to write this off when it's time to do your taxes. I appreciate each donation, each share of the post, each nomination for the awards. I appreciate it all. I'm excited about where God is taking Warriors Talk, and I hope that you're going to be along for this ride, because we are about to embark on some amazing things. So I'm excited about that, you guys. I am. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Warriors Talk. I am survivor, cancer advocate, and the founder of Warriors Talk organization, where we empower individuals to take action that leads to a healthier lifestyle. I'll see you tomorrow for day 6.